Just let me know. Whoa, dude! No way! Oh, shit!
Hello.
What the? Oh, mate! What was that?
This creepy encounter was shared by Midwest Ghost Hunter on YouTube. Imagine spending a night alone in Wisconsin's most haunted cemetery, Dartford. Locals whisper of Civil War soldiers marching through the graves, tombstones that glow and shift in the dark. He was calling out for signs when suddenly a rattling gate, no wind, no reason, just a violent metallic shake in the dead silence.
Old water pump here. That's pretty cool. See if anyone's over here. Whoa, what was that? It was like a rattling sound. That sounded like the gate. Oh. And there's no wind out here.
And then, a whisper, faint, unearthly. He felt eyes all around me, and that was only the beginning.
Could you come and talk to me? Oh my God. That just sounded like a whisper. A whisper in there. Holy shit, I haven't even gotten in there yet. And already stuff's popping off.
As he finally wanted to enter the graveyard, he swore he saw something standing behind the tree.
He's really on there. All right, I undid the gate. Now what? Oh God. Whoa. Dude, I swear to God, I just seen something standing right there. It looked like a figure. Standing right by the tree. It was a tall white figure. Watching me, it was like a person. Oh God. Holy shit. Oh my God, this place is unreal. All right. I'm gonna open the gate.
He pushed the cemetery gate open, and it slammed shut behind him with force.
Terry. Do you dare me to go in? If you want me to go in, just let me know. Whoa! Dude! No way! Oh, shit! Oh! Dude, that thing just freaking shut! It just shut! Dude, that thing just shut! It shut by itself. Look at that, it's like completely shut now. I had that thing wide open.
The cemetery gate suddenly shuts on its own. Could this be one of the Dartford spirits taunting me to leave?
His heart sank. Was it a warning? A dare? The spirits were making their presence known, and they didn't want him inside. This video was uploaded by Jose Flores Terror, a YouTube channel that posts creepy encounters and paranormal activities. This guy went camping alone in a cabin said to be haunted, deep in the forest, with nowhere to run.
Welcome to a new paranormal investigation. Right now I am practically in the middle of the mountain. I am completely alone, and behind me, as you can see, is this small cabin.
As midnight crept in, the silence was shattered first. The window creaked open on its own. Then came the whispers, faint and chilling.
Or something tonight, I think it's quite important to do it. If there is any entity in this cabin that wants to manifest itself tonight, they can do so. I'm going to be here all night. You can introduce yourself in any way. I just heard a knock upstairs. I don't know if you heard it. And the energy meter is going completely crazy because it goes up and down all the time.
Moments later, footsteps, slow, heavy, and getting closer.
Oh, I don't know if this was there just now, but it just gave me goosebumps. I'm shaking right now, but I don't know if just now that they knocked on the window, you could hear them knocking on the window, you can hear it there. I don't know if you can see in this part here, some hands marked on the outside of the window, and they're very large hands. Hello? The window just opened. The window just opened. Is anyone there? Footsteps are being heard up there.
Imagine being trapped there, in the dark, with nothing but thin walls separating you from whatever was outside. Was it the ghost that haunted this cabin? Or something else lurking in the woods? If it were you, would you stay to find out, or run into the darkness? And most importantly, what do you think was making those sounds? Paranormal Discovery shares his encounter while camping. He drove down a lonely dirt path to haunted forest, completely alone with only his dog. From the moment he stepped out, the air felt wrong. No birds, no insects, just silence. Every shadow seemed alive.
Alright, I feel like this is from when Angela and I came, so that's cool. Don't have to set up a rock formation. Looks like everything is fairly damp. I mean, some of this birch here will still be able to light.
After settling down late in the night, suddenly, from the thick bushes, a loud, unearthly voice echoed through the silence.
The grounds here? Are you indigenous? Definitely indigenous. Alright, what's your message there, Ann?
Help speak.
Help speak?
Pitiful.
Help speak, pitiful. Like, legitimately, it may actually be dangerous. Like, really dangerous. I'm so incredibly sorry. Okay, come on. Holy shit. Okay, what the fuck? Emergency. Alright, this might be an emergency. I got Kia in the freaking Subaru right now. I don't want her coming out. Okay.
It wasn't human. It wasn't an animal. Fear gripped him instantly. Every instinct screamed, "Leave now," but it is late in the middle night, nowhere to go. He just has to stay there till daybreak. But here's the question, what do you think that was? A wild creature? A paranormal entity? And if it were you, would curiosity keep you there, or would fear make you run? Exploring with Angola shared this video on this YouTube page. He went camping in the haunted forest in remote Canada. At first, everything seemed fine as he set up his tent and settled in. Most creepy things happen in the night. But as night fell, the forest grew unnervingly silent until he said he heard a voice whisper his name. Heart pounding, he froze. Nothing in sight. He flashed his touch in that direction, but he found nothing.
It's getting a little bit cool now, but it's helping with the mosquito situation, so that's not so bad. They were bad earlier, but now it seems... I could have sworn I just heard somebody call my name.
Silence returned, so he decided to go and check. Maybe they could find what was making those sounds. He then heard another voice. This is really strange. Another hello echoed from dead ahead.
Hello. Okay. I just heard hello back. And it was dead ahead of me. What the fuck is going on right now?
His pulse raced. Who or what was calling out? Was it a lost traveler, a spirit lingering in the forest, or something far darker that wanted him to follow? This YouTuber, Camping with Josh, shared his experience of his solo wild camp. He set out for a solo camping trip deep in the foggy forest. At first, everything seemed normal. He pitched his tent, gathered his things, and prepared for a quiet night. But the deeper the silence grew, the heavier it felt. While exploring, he noticed something eerie, a strange white figure draped over what looked like a tree stump. It felt out of place, almost like a warning.
You guys gonna think I planned this? I didn't. I think Halloween's coming up, isn't it? Okay. This is a bit weird.
As night fell, he heard some unsettling noises coming from the bushes, too heavy, too deliberate to be just animals.
When the camera was off, I heard some really heavy movements in the bushes, and I'm pretty sure I saw something in the bushes as well. As I was standing still, there was this movement there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to leave my tarp here in the woods. My bag is already packed.
The forest grew unnaturally quiet, as though something unseen was watching him. Fear gripped him, and he decided to abandon his camp, convinced he was not truly alone out there. This Reddit user decided to go hiking in the mountains. But look at the weather. The path is buried in snow, the air is thick with fog, and visibility is almost zero. Every step feels uncertain, as if something could be lurking just beyond the mist. Imagine standing here, surrounded by silence except for the crunch of snow beneath your boots and the wind howling through the rocks. Would you keep walking forward, not knowing what lies ahead, or would you turn back to safety? What do you think is hidden in this fog? Just more snow and stone, or something else entirely? This was posted by the English Woodsman on his YouTube channel. This camper set out to test his long-awaited dream tent. After years of wanting it, he finally got his hands on one through a bundle deal. Excited, he pitched the tent deep in the forest and even tried out a brand new twig stove. But as night fell, the excitement quickly faded. The tent had rips, broken zippers, and even small holes in the roof. He patched them up as best as he could, hoping it would hold through the night.
A bit of candle wax, that'll work. Inside the tent, and there's something that I've realised what I didn't when I first set the tent up. There's some holes. I've got 1, 2, 3 holes here in the top of the tent, and if it does rain, well, that's the point where it's going to come down.
Then, just past midnight, things took a chilling turn. He heard it, something brushing against the tent walls. Footsteps circled outside.
Right, I'm going to get myself sorted out. I'll bring you back in a bit. Just been walking by something that seemed to be walking around my tent a bit. And it's walked Dan up as well, because Dan's just messaged me. You know, the guy lines that you pull out, something I felt, no, not, I don't know, it's just, no, I don't know. See, there it is again.
Was it wildlife? Or something much darker lurking in the woods? Would you have stayed inside or dared to step out and face the unknown? BS Action Channel posted this video on YouTube. A seasoned hunter set out into the dense forest with his loyal dog, tracking a wounded boar. But what they stumbled into was far more terrifying than they ever imagined. Suddenly, the boar charged, narrowly missing them with its deadly tusks. Chaos erupted, but the hunter wasn't alone. His brave dog leapt into action, helping him regain control of the situation. Without the dog's courage and quick thinking, the encounter could have ended in disaster. This dramatic moment showcased an unbreakable bond of trust, teamwork, and loyalty in the face of danger. It's an unforgettable ordeal, a reminder of how far trust between a human and their dog can go. This picture was taken by a Reddit user. Have you ever seen anything like this in the sky before? No filters, no edits, this is exactly how it looked. A massive glowing ring is surrounding the sun, almost like a portal opening above us. This rare phenomenon is known as a sun halo. It happens when sunlight passes through ice crystals high in the atmosphere, bending the light into this perfect circle. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Throughout history, halos like this have been seen as powerful omens. Some cultures believed it was a warning of storms to come. Others thought it was a spiritual sign from above. So what do you think? Is this just science at work? Or could the sky be trying to tell us something? This was shared by a YouTuber, Ramble On. A father set out on a wild overnight camp with one goal, to keep a promise to his daughter. She asked him to capture the sunset. The ground was rough, the tent uneven, and the wind relentless, but he pushed on. Dinner was a simple dehydrated meal with noodles, chicken, and chili sauce, yet small mishaps made the night harder. His cup landed in sheep poo, his biscuits blew away, and the cold cut deep. As darkness fell, the wind roared against the tent, keeping him awake for most of the night. He barely managed a few hours of broken sleep, relying on layer and sheer determination. By dawn, clouds hid the sunrise, but he still honored the promise.
2 minutes until the sunrise, and here I am packing up my sleeping gear. I'm keeping an eye on it. There's nothing happening at the moment because of all the clouds that's out there. But I thought things are kicking off, so I need to be getting my ass in gear.
Exhausted and battered by the storm, he packed up with pride, kept his word, faced the elements, and walked away stronger. Ray RLC, a YouTuber, posted his encounter in this mysterious area. This guy set out to hike on a mysterious trail in a remote area, one surrounded by chilling rumors. Locals say anyone who ventures here ends up with pounding headaches, dizziness, and even vomiting, yet no one knows why. Determined to test it for himself, he hiked deeper into the path. At first, nothing seemed unusual. He brushed it off when he thought he saw movement, just a deer.
Just saw something right back there. Oh, gee, what was that? Oh, shoot. Oh, I think there's... Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Oh. Oh, my gosh. It was just a deer. Okay.
But the deeper he went, the more unsettling it became. Suddenly his balance faltered. A wave of nausea struck out of nowhere, growing worse with every step. Finally, his stomach gave in. He vomited violently. The strangest part? As soon as he left the area, the sickness vanished.
Okay, stop. Stop. Oh. 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 Oh my gosh. Oh, no, no, no. Oh. Oh, it's coming up. It's coming up. Oh, I do not want to film this. I do not. Oh, yeah, oh, this is going to be gross. I'm not going to film this. Whole sec.
Was this just nature, or is something much darker guarding that trail? This video was uploaded to Dead City Paranormal on YouTube. 2 guys decided to explore an abandoned haunted house overnight. The moment they stepped inside, silence wrapped around them, heavy and suffocating. The walls were cracked and twisted, almost as if the house itself was alive, watching. The narrow passage stretched out before them, dark and unsettling.
Hello? Was that you?
At first, it was only the eerie stillness, but soon, faint movements echoed from other rooms, and some movements where they were.
Mate, was that you?
You're capable.
Was that you then that made that bang?
I didn't make no bang, no. My keys clicked, like...
No, I heard that and then I heard like a doof. Mate, that's so weird. This is the first time we're bringing the box out.
And that's meant.
And it's like, what's that box?
What the...
Oh, mate.
What was that? What the...
Oh, mate.
What was that? Is that just it falling?
I don't know.
They froze, realizing they were no longer alone. Was it a ghost haunting the ruins, or something even darker lurking just out of sight? The Moon Pie Project posted this on her channel. She and her friend hiked deep into the woods, laughing and joking. As they walked past the trees in the forest, the air grew heavy, strange noises echoed, and they saw a pookie pie as they stood beside a river in the forest.
Oh, no, it's back. Oh, do you want a moon pie? We should have left when I said it was safe to leave. Yeah, well, he can't cross the log. He can't go in the water. He's thinking about it. I was wrong. Stretching. I think he's coming up here.
But what is it doing alone in that place? They followed it. On their way, following it, they saw pictures of people on the floor and placed them on the wood there.
There's random pictures of people printed out up here. Okay, here you go.
Suddenly, the terrifying truth hit them. They weren't following the pookie pie. Something was out there, watching, waiting, and following. One of them ran immediately. She saw something strange.
Now it's okay, don't run, don't run, don't run. We can't run, don't run.
What do you think she saw? Would you keep calm and walk? Or run for your life if something unseen stalked you in the woods? This video was shared by Marusha Outdoors on YouTube. She decided to spend a peaceful day camping by the lakeside alone. The weather was calm, and she enjoyed setting up her tent, thinking it would be a quiet night and enjoying the beautiful view of the lake. But as the evening settled, the sky shifted. Dark clouds gathered quickly, and before she knew it, heavy rain and sharp lightning strikes surrounded her tent. She sat down inside her tent as she watched the cloud strikes. Drinking her tea, she could hear the water pounding against the fabric and the storm roaring above. Every thunderclap made her heart race. Alone, in the middle of nowhere, the storm felt almost too close, too personal. If you were in her place, trapped in a flimsy tent with the storm raging around, would you feel safe, or would you think something else was out there with you? This hiker set out on his canoe, gliding quietly across the lake, when his eyes locked onto something deeply unsettling. At the edge of the water, a dog was trapped, half buried in the mud, its body pinned down by the weight of a fallen dry tree. The poor creature struggled faintly, as if it had been stuck there for hours, maybe even longer. The hiker rushed to help, trying to drag the dog free, but the mud held it like quicksand.
You've been here a long time. You in any pain? You okay, buddy? Can we keep going? A bit more.
Finally, after some time, he was able to put the dog out of the mud. How long had the animal been there? Was it just an accident? Or something far stranger? And here's the chilling thought: what if he hadn't found it? What do you think could have happened to that dog? This person went hiking deep into the wild when he unknowingly found himself face to face with a bear. But this wasn't just any bear. It was a mother, and somewhere nearby, her cubs. In an instant, the bear attacked, knocking this person backward while he screamed so loudly in fear, straight towards the edge of a cliff. With nowhere to run, he fought for his life, clinging to the rocks as the bear attacked. Every second was like the last one. Every wrong move could have been a tumble to death. What would you have done in that split second face to face with a furious bear, high on a cliff, with no means of escape? Experiences such as this don't scare you just once. They haunt you for life. This man took a leisurely drive through the bush, then catastrophe hit. A leopard leapt onto his vehicle in the blink of an eye, and he was confronted with unadulterated raw power. No windows, no doors, nowhere to hide. Imagine being inches away from a predator built to kill. Do you stay perfectly still? Do you try to scare it off? Or do you pray it loses interest before it decides you're the next meal? Times like these aren't just frightening, they linger with you for good. Because after you've made eye contact with the wild, you never quite view the world in the same manner ever again. It was late at night, the forest was quiet, the air heavy, and this person walked under nothing but a flashlight. Then, right down the middle of the road stood a moose. Not that huge, not a sound. Its eyes glowed when the beam of light hit it. For a moment, it did not move, and then suddenly it sprang ahead. Pounding with excitement, this person retreated, until the moose turned around and moved back, finally dissolving into the darkness.
Hey, bud. I need to go. Hey! Oh fuck, Alter.
This person was so scared of the moose. What would you have done if it weren't one moose just standing there, but several? What will be your next move? Run or just disappear? This person walked up a path in Banff, when out of nowhere, a grizzly bear appeared. At first, it was just wandering, then it started coming straight at him. Step by step, the enormous bear just kept coming. No roars, no growls, just silence and bulk.
Still follow me, but you gotta remain calm and don't run. Have the pepper spray at the ready. Stop for him.
He was terrified, edging back slowly, knowing that one wrong step would kill him. The bear followed for 5 agonizing minutes, until finally, it disappeared down a stream. What would you do if there was a grizzly charging straight at you with nowhere to run? Could you stay calm, or would you let fear overwhelm you? Because out there in nature, sometimes the scariest thing is silence. Deep in Madagascar stands an ancient giant, the baobab tree. But this one is unlike any other. Look closely. Doesn't it seem to have naturally taken the shape of a shivling? This lady, standing at its base, was completely blown away. Imagine walking into the forest and stumbling upon a living monument sculpted by time itself. For centuries, locals have called baobabs the tree of life. But what if this one is more than that? A symbol? A message? A mystery carved by nature? What do you think? A coincidence? Or something divine? He had gone hiking when he stumbled upon something strange, a hidden entrance shrouded in the midst of the forest. Curiosity took the better of him, and he ventured in. What he found was terrifying.
Staircase that took me into this small room that had an entrance leading into what looked like a tunnel. At first I thought this might have been an old mine, but as I got deeper, things started to get strange. The rough rock walls turned to smooth concrete, and the tunnel soon split into a maze of passageways with small rooms along the way. Some of the doorways actually still had wood on them, which means this place wasn't abandoned that long ago. Then I found another staircase that led even further down, and things got even creepier from here. The quality of the tunnel suddenly improved, and soon I came across this large hole in the ground that led down so deep that I couldn't see the bottom. So what do you think this place was, and why was it abandoned?
Narrow passages, rock stairways deeper and deeper into the earth. The air grew colder, the silence is thicker. At the bottom, the discovered doors lead into empty rooms, left behind, forgotten. But the stairs didn't stop there. He went down further into the darkness. This person couldn't force themselves to go beyond this point. Who built this facility? Who used to live here when it was left behind to decay? And most importantly, why was it hidden so well? Would you risk going on with the chance that you never could? The Whaley House in San Diego isn't just history, it's horror. Built on the graves of prisoners, it's been branded one of the most haunted houses in America. Visitors tell of footsteps echoing through empty rooms, doors slamming with no cause, and whispers that chill the skin. Some swear they've seen figures, angry, violent, waiting in the shadows. But why place a family home on top of a burial ground? Could the spirits of the condemned still be reaching for revenge, clawing at the living for recognition? If so, what do they want? Fear, justice, or something darker? Would you step inside after dark, knowing its story inspired a film? Or would you keep your distance, haunted by what might be watching? This man walked deep into the woods when he noticed movement in the trees. Little bear cubs were climbing and playing as if nothing mattered. Then, just a few feet away, stood their mother, a massive bear still observing, guarding. In that instant, fear paralyzed him. We all know the most lethal thing out there isn't a predator circling. It's a mother protecting her kids. What would occur if this man got too close to the cubs? If the bear believed, at least for a split second, that her cubs were under threat, would she charge blindly? Could anyone possibly outrun such a force? One wrong step in that timber, and curiosity could have cost this person everything. This forest is hands down one of the most terrifying places this person has ever been. The road leading in was narrow, just a single dirt path swallowed by endless trees. Branches hung overhead like skeletal arms, closing in tighter with every step forward. As the headlights cut through the darkness, strange noises echoed from deep inside the woods. Twigs snapped, whispers carried on the cold night air, and yet, not a single soul could be seen. If you were the one, would you keep driving down a road like this, knowing you couldn't turn back? What would you do if something stepped out in front of you, blocking the path? Because once you enter a place like this, the forest decides if you leave. In upstate New York stands the infamous Enslin House, a haunted landmark that has chilled visitors for generations. One evening, a lady and her friends decided to join the haunted tour, but what they discovered inside went far beyond ghost stories.
That's not. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
What is that, Rick? Watch.
Yeah, keeps going. Ooh. Oh.
So there's a vibration. So there's a vibration in the water down below. Like, what is that? You gotta be kidding me. Oh my God, there's a second hole. There's tunnels underneath the Einsland house.
Small room. So there's a room under there. But there's no animals in the room. Under. Oh shit. Yeah, man. Oh boy. Little one, but it's there. Oh yeah, see? Yeah. Big one, like a room.
Hidden beneath the creaking floors, they stumbled upon not one, but two small wells inside the house itself. Dark, cold, and eerily quiet. These wells seemed out of place, almost as if they were never meant to be found. Why would anyone build wells inside a house? Were they used for water, or something far more sinister? Could these hidden wells be the reason the Ensslin house is haunted? This man spotted a deserted farmhouse, its windows shattered, doors rotting, and secrets silently weighing on the air. Curiosity getting the better of him, he entered. Floors creaked, dust danced around, and an eerie sense of being observed lurked in each nook. He walked through the haunted rooms finally stepped out, relieved it was over. But then he was filming the house from across the street, and he saw it. In the large front window, a dark shape coalesced. It didn't move as light would. It didn't resemble dust. It resembled a face. What did you assume it was? A ghost still haunting the farmhouse, or an individual secretly living inside? And the question of the moment? Would you ever even go back in after seeing that? They stumbled upon an old home, rotting where it rested. The walls splitting, windows shattered, stillness suspended as a threat. Curiosity won out. The moment they entered, their breath was held. Inside was devastation. Chairs tipped over, paint stripped away in strips, dust that was as thick as mist. It looked deserted for decades, yet it did not feel abandoned at all. Whispers were in the air, shadows shifted as if on their own. Imagine finding out too late the house wasn't empty, but waiting. What disaster tainted these walls? Why did it get left to rot? And worse still, did the people who lived here ever truly leave? Or are their eyes still on every trespasser watching, waiting for the next to come in? High above the world, one person sits on the edge of a mountain cliff, legs dangling, heart racing. Below, a sea of trees stretches endlessly, their tops swaying like waves in the wind. The view is breathtaking, but so is the drop. Would you dare sit here, knowing one slip could send you falling into the forest far below? Could you steady your breath with nothing but empty air beneath your feet? Imagine the sound of rocks tumbling as your shoes scrape the edge. Would you lean forward for a better view, or cling to the ground behind you? Is this peace or danger disguised as beauty? Would you risk it, just for the thrill? This person went hiking in a mountain where snow crunches beneath each step as the mountain looms in the dark. Walking in the dark is another thing, colder, thicker, almost alive. The trees are silent sentinels, and the wind cuts through the stillness with a haunting edge. Would you venture forth, knowing the trail vanishes in the dark? What if you heard the sound of footsteps following you, but there was no one there? Could you trust the silence, or would every sound make your heart miss a beat? Alone in the middle of nowhere in Bulgaria, a camper suddenly froze as a chilling sound ripped through the night.
What the fuck?
It wasn't just one cry. It sounded like multiple people screaming at once, echoing through the endless dark forest that surrounded them for miles. but the place was supposed to be deserted. Later, when they shared the experience online, people suggested it might have been a fox, a lynx, maybe even a jackal. Though others hinted at something far darker, old legends whispered about those very woods. Whatever it was, the camper wasn't about to stick around to find out. This person was hiking along a dangerous trail in China when disaster almost struck. One wrong step and they nearly slipped off the edge of the cliff. The heart-stopping moment was caught on camera as they struggled to regain balance, clinging to life by just a second. Imagine standing there, the ground crumbling beneath your feet, nothing but a deadly drop below. What would you do? Would you freeze, fight to climb back, or accept the fall? Have you ever been in a moment where your life flashed before your eyes? Sometimes the difference between life and death is just one step. When they were climbing the mountain, they stumbled upon a black, open pit. Curiosity got the better of them. They bound a rope, tested it, and began going down. As the rope was spilling out, they saw something unbelievable.
Dude.
It's pretty spacious in there.
Yeah, it gets huge, and it just drops off straight down 150 feet. Oh. See ya, man. That is crazy. Oh. Wow. Look at this, guys. Oh, there's a whole stream down there. Oh.
The cave dropped about 1,500 feet directly downwards. But they went on. The air grew colder, the light vanished, until finally they hit firm ground. Much to their surprise, a hidden river flowed deep beneath the mountain, its water glowing faintly in the darkness, as if holding something back. Why would the cave be so deep? What is it down there? Is it just the river or something more mysterious? If you were the person who stood at the edge, would you climb on into the unknown? He was riding deep into the forest, the air quiet, the trees standing over him like unblinking sentinels, and then his tire slid and he crashed violently onto the ground. The quiet was broken by the noise of his crash. But here's what's really scary. Right after he crashed, he could have sworn he heard the sound of footsteps circling through the trees, although he was by himself. The forest grew darker, colder, and all the shadows seemed to stir to life. What did you suspect was lurking inside those woods? Was it just the woods playing tricks on you, or something else lurking, waiting to be discovered by him? If you were injured alone in the middle of nowhere, how would you get up knowing that something invisible is likely watching you? High above the ground, with nothing but clouds and thin air beneath, this man stepped onto the infamous Mount Huashan plank walk, often called the world's most dangerous hike. Just imagine it, a few wooden planks bolted to the side of a cliff, swaying slightly, held only by a chain clipped to his harness. One wrong step, one slip of the foot, and it's a 2,000-foot drop into nothingness. His hands trembled as he gripped the rock wall, inching forward, the wind howling in his ears. Every heartbeat felt louder than the echoes of the mountain itself. Would you dare take this walk? Could you trust those old planks with your life? Or would you freeze halfway across knowing there's no turning back? This person was alone in his house when it began. A voice calling his name. He had thought initially it was just in his head until the voice grew louder, clearer, and his own voice echoes him from the second floor of his house, his heart squeezed up tight, terror creeping in with every iteration. He stood there, straining to hear, his heart racing. The voice called out again, precisely like his, but deeper, colder.
I heard someone is calling me, but I'm alone in my home. Like मेरे घर में कोई भी नहीं है अभी. कौन? रोहान तुम हो? क्या हुआ? हाँ? तुम नीचे आओ. तुम नीचे आ जाओ रोहान. नीचे क्यों नहीं आना? क्यों? बकवास बंद करो अपनी. कौन था? बोलो. रूम में है ना कोई? मेरी एक बार अपने जेब में. Okay, bye. I don't know what it is, but okay, bye.
Who do you think was shouting his name in the house? A ghost, a demon, or something worse? What would you do if it were your own voice answering back to you in the shadows? Would you run out of the house, meet it head on, or pray that it stays behind? Because sometimes, the scariest voice you hear is your own. On a snow-covered mountain slope, the camera captures a hair-stopping moment. A man does an unexpected loss of control and goes zip-whizzing down toward a lethal cliff edge. Seconds before impact, a man in a yellow zip jacket appears out of nowhere. He dashes into the scene and tackles the ground, catching hold of the plummeting man's arm and holding tight for all he's worth. The wave sucks them both under, but he won't let go. Before you can say anything, in a split second, other people run there to help and pull the man back from certain doom. What would you do in that moment? Can you keep your grip? Imagine you're sleeping in a campground inside an abandoned building deep in the woods. It's dark, the air is cold, and you step out onto the balcony just to catch a glimpse of fresh air. And then you freeze, deep in the dark row of trees. Two shining eyes are staring at you. They don't blink. They don't change. They just stare.
The fuck is that? The fuck is that in the woods? Hello? Hello?
What would you do at that moment? Are those animal eyes, or something much more alien? Is it a ghost, a spirit, or some kind of unexplainable creature? Would you be strong enough to meet its stare, or run and hide inside? So I ask you, if you were there, alone in that silence, what would your brain let your mind believe those eyes belong to? It was supposed to be a quiet afternoon in the forest, but suddenly his tent shook violently. A bear was right outside, sniffing, pawing, and pressing against the fabric. Alone, trapped inside, his heart pounded louder than the rustling trees. Luckily, the bear wasn't there to hunt. It was just curious, circling, as if greeting him in its own terrifying way. After a few tense minutes, it wandered off, leaving him shaken but alive. But imagine if that bear had truly meant business. What do you think would have happened? Would he have stood a chance to fight back, or would it have been over in seconds? And would you ever risk camping alone after an encounter like this? He walked slowly to the riverbank, the moonlight silvering ripples on the water. But then something strange arrested his notice. A conclave of tortoises had formed, a faultless one in the shallow part of the river. Inside the ring were 3 small tortoises who remained still, as if under guard or siege. The water about them seemed to ripple in rhythms, as if some hidden ceremony was being carried out. He remained stationary, whether to advance one step more or turn tail. What was he doing here? Were the tortoises protecting the smaller ones, or up to something mysterious? Would you take the risk and step in, or simply wait outside in concealment, if in his place? This was supposed to be a peaceful journey, but it turned into a nightmare. To begin with, in the dead of night, there came a massive branch from a tree falling straight on top of his tent, ripping it wide apart. Heart racing, he got out of there, thankful to be alive. But fate wasn't finished yet. On the trek down from the mountain, he slipped on a rock and heard a sharp crack. He had ripped one of the ligaments in his ankle. Pain ran through his system with every step, and then suddenly the trip was a battle to even escape alive. Has there ever been a trip that went completely wrong for you? Would you have still kept pushing through the pain that he did, or would you have pulled over and waited for help? The shock of his lifetime came the day he chose to hike alone. What was initially an adventure turned into a nightmarish experience. Far in the middle of a snow forest, the silence was creepy. No voices, no tracks, just the sound of his boots crunching into the white ground. Then, in an instant, he was lost. He wandered in a circle for over an hour, looking for a path down, each tree the same, each trail a dead end. The cold nipped at his skin, and terror screamed louder with every second. Would you ever dare to hike by yourself in this kind of weather? If you were stranded like he was, would you keep traveling or stay still and hope to be rescued? It was while on a solo hike in the mountains of Cabo San Lucas that something unusual caught his eye. In the distance, coming outside of the rock, was a giant figure, too large, too fast, and too strange to be human. Its shadow was elongated in the sun, its movements deliberate, almost as if it knew it was being watched. He froze, heart pounding. Could it be? The locals talk about legends in whispers, but there he stood, staring at what looked like the Mexican Sasquatch. Do you think these creatures actually exist, or was it just a trick of the light? If you were in his shoes, would you grab a camera, get a closer look, or run in the other direction? He walked deep into the woods and climbed deep into a tree, hidden in the leaves. Down below, a lone coyote was quiet, watchful, and wandered the clearing. From up high, he whispered, just to play tricks on his mind, to test if the animal would hear him. The yote hesitated, twitching ears, sniffing nose, attempting to find the sound. What do you think the coyote would do if it realized the sound was coming from right above its head? And what if he had hissed from below in the woods? Would the coyote pounce, creep, or simply vanish into the night? It was supposed to be a quiet night of camping, but it was the night of horror in his life. The fire was low, the forest quiet, when abruptly a voice pierced the blackness. The cry rang out through the trees, rasping, ghostly, and not quite human. He remained still where he was, his heart pounding, frozen between fear and morbid fascination. Was it really a person in distress, or something trying to coax him out? The voice kept calling, moving closer and closer, like it could identify his exact location on the ground. What would you do, staying hidden in the tent? This family was out enjoying a peaceful picnic, laughter filling the air, when out of nowhere, a wild bear wandered straight into their campsite. Without hesitation, the bear went straight for the food table, sniffing, pawing, and helping itself like it owned the place. The family froze, hearts pounding, but they reacted perfectly calm, quiet, and slowly backed away to give the animal space. Thankfully, no one was harmed, though the bear clearly had a feast. What do you think was going through their minds at that moment? Fear, shock, or disbelief? If you were there, would you try to scare the bear away, grab the food, or just let it eat and hope it leaves peacefully? What an odd encounter this was. He was deep in the forest, creeping stealthily, when suddenly something shifted. Between the trees, a huge, shadowy form moved steadily, its massive body unfamiliar to him in any way. His own breath was short in his throat. The creature walked deliberately, crushing footsteps through the leaves, but never once looking back in his direction.
What in the world is that thing?
Others say what he saw might have been Bigfoot, while others would call it something else entirely. You were the one who just so happened to be there. Would you find it and go get the truth, or run in the other direction? Do you think creatures like Bigfoot exist? Are they nothing more than myths around campfires? A group of friends was spending the day by a waterfall, laughing, relaxing, and capturing memories on camera. One girl had her phone out, recording everything. Suddenly, a strange sound echoed from the trees. She instinctively turned her camera toward the forest, but nothing unusual seemed to be there, so she went back to filming her friends. It wasn't until later that night, replaying the footage at home, that she noticed something unsettling. For just a moment, the camera had caught sight of what appeared to be a transparent woman standing among the trees, silently watching them. The strange part? None of them had seen anything with their own eyes. Only the camera did. Was it a trick of the mind, just pareidolia at work? Or had they unknowingly captured something truly paranormal? Out on a peaceful hike, someone stopped to snap a quick photo with their dog. But when they looked back at it later, they noticed something chilling. Lurking in the background was a shadowy figure with glowing eyes. Strangely, the dog stood perfectly calm, which many argued no trained retriever would ever do if something like that was nearby. To this day, no one knows where the photo truly came from, and the eerie mystery has never been solved. Living deep in the woods, this person began to notice eerie sounds echoing through the forest. The noise seemed to travel in short bursts, shifting east, pausing, then reappearing in new spots 4 different times before going completely silent. At first, the thought was that it might be a drone, but something about the pattern just didn't feel right. Later, someone suggested it could be nothing more than a male cicada calling for a mate. But after comparing it to cicada recordings, the mystery didn't seem to match. So what could these strange sounds be? While hiking through a quiet trail in Georgia, someone stumbled upon a sight that froze them in their tracks. Lying just off the path was what looked like a lifeless, half-naked body, covered in mud and dirt. Terrified, they immediately called the police. However, when the officers arrived, the shocking truth emerged. It wasn't a person at all. It was a discarded doll. Deputies later nicknamed it SAR and even cleaned it up at the sheriff's office. Luckily, this chilling discovery turned out to be nothing more than a creepy doll and not something far darker. This man lives completely off the grid. No neighbors, no stores, nothing but miles of empty land. But last night, his gate camera picked up something chilling. A lone figure walking past his property around 11 p.m. At first, it looked strange enough. But by 3:44 a.m., the camera caught him again, this time wearing black gloves. The footage was turned over to the sheriff, who's now keeping watch over the area. Still, the real question remains. What was a man doing, that deep in the wilderness, in the middle of the night? And why the gloves? Could he be hiding something in the woods? Late one night, a man walked toward the parking lot to grab his car. But just as he got close, he froze. There, inside a tent, was a figure draped in white, completely motionless. The silence was suffocating, almost unnatural.
Nampakkan.
The place was deserted, not a soul in sight. With his heart pounding, he pulled out his phone to record, knowing no one would believe him otherwise. Then, without looking back, he bolted for his car, shaken, unsettled, and desperate to get away. While exploring an abandoned armory deep in the woods, a Reddit user stumbled upon something straight out of a nightmare. A freshly dug, human-sized hole, perfectly deep enough to bury someone. The place was remote, overgrown, and so far off the grid that no vehicle could even get near it. When they reported it, dispatch casually suggested it was just a relic hunter digging around. But then things took a darker turn. Multiple investigators called back, asking pointed questions. Had they seen anyone? Touched anything? They even mentioned setting up trail cameras and firmly warned the user never to return. Since that day, there's been nothing but silence, no updates, no answers, just chilling uncertainty. While hiking, this hiker wandered deep into the forest and stumbled upon something strange. Hidden behind the thick trees stood an old abandoned building, its windows shattered and walls covered in creeping vines. At first, it just looked like a forgotten ruin, but as the hiker moved closer, a chill crept in. Then it happened. In one of the broken windows, the hiker spotted a face, pale, still, silent, just staring back. For a moment, everything froze. The woods, the air, even the hiker's heartbeat felt louder than anything else. While out on a quiet hike, a man suddenly felt eyes on him and realized he wasn't alone.
Nice bear.
Just a few steps behind, a black bear was trailing him. Instead of panicking or running, he kept his cool, moving slowly forward while sneaking cautious glances over his shoulder. Luckily, the bear never charged, never chased, and after a tense walk through the woods, the man made it out safe. This past summer, a man set off on a solo camping trip deep in the Sierra Nevadas. He pitched his tent, built a fire, and even recorded a short video to reassure his girlfriend that he was safe and ready for the night. But when that video finally reached her the next morning, she noticed something he hadn't. Just beyond the glow of the fire pit, two faint eyes shimmered in the darkness, watching. The camper later admitted he felt uneasy that night, like he wasn't truly alone. but he never saw what was out there until those eyes were caught on camera. The question is, what was silently stalking him in the woods, and was he in real danger? While staying in a secluded cabin deep within the mountains of Mazamitla, Jalisco, this person experienced something deeply unsettling. From the corner of their eye, they spotted a humanoid figure lurking silently behind a car, just watching. Was it a stalker, a twisted prank, or something far more mysterious? They didn't dare step closer to find out. And honestly, who would? In early 2016, the quiet little town of Forest Grove, Oregon, was shaken by something truly bizarre. For 2 unsettling weeks, a chilling high-pitched noise swept through the streets near Gales Creek Road. Some described it as a warped flute, others as a metallic scream straight out of a nightmare. The sound came without warning, piercing through walls, rattling nerves, and leaving people wide awake at night. More than 200 residents reported hearing it. City crews scrambled for answers, checking gas lines, pipes, attic fans, and even local wildlife. But every lead turned up empty. And then, just as mysteriously as it began, the noise vanished. By late February, it was gone. By March, the city had closed the case. Yet the mystery remains. What was that sound that haunted Forest Grove? To this day, no one knows. A woman named Liliana, filming off the coast of Chile, captured something she couldn't explain. Her camera revealed dark figures gliding just beneath the surface of the waves. At first glance, many assumed it was just a pod of whales, but others swore the shapes looked almost human, eerily similar to mermaids. What makes it even stranger is the timing. This was recorded right after a massive earthquake struck off the coast of Russia. Could the quake have awakened something ancient hiding in the deep? In Indonesia, a man was spending a calm day at home when his dog suddenly erupted into frantic barking, staring down the road as if they sensed something he couldn't see. Stepping outside, he found nothing. The street was empty, but his curiosity wouldn't let it go, so he turned to his security camera footage. And that's when the chill set in. Clear as day, a ghost-like figure appeared, walking down the street. Not once, but twice. He quickly ruled out a camera glitch. After all, his reflection showed up clear. But here's the unsettling part. With his own eyes, he saw absolutely nothing. So the question remains, what did his dogs and his camera witness that day? While hiking near Escondido Falls in Malibu, a group of friends stumbled upon something unsettling. A strange, dark statue standing by the gate of a private house. It had an eerie presence, almost as if it was watching them. Brushing it off as nothing more than creepy yard art, they continued their hike. But later that night, on their way back, everything changed. That same figure was no longer by the gate. This time, it was standing across the road, blocking their path. Before they could even process what they were seeing, fear took over. They bolted into the night, too terrified to look back. So, what exactly did they witness out there? While hiking near North Sentinel Island, a man launched his drone and captured rare footage of the Sentinelese, an ancient, untouched tribe that has lived in isolation for thousands of years. With strict laws forbidding contact to protect them from outside diseases, seeing them on camera feels like peering into a world frozen in time. 3 miles deep into a silent research forest, a hiker suddenly froze, the stillness shattered by the wail of an air raid siren echoing through the trees. The sound was eerie, almost out of place, and they couldn't figure out why it was happening. With no answers, they just kept moving forward, uneasy but curious. Later, they discovered the truth. It wasn't a warning for lost hikers or a sign of danger at all. It was simply how the nearby town calls its first responders, since cell service out there is almost non-existent. Harmless, but unsettling in the moment.